Hello folks, my name is General from Golden State Times. Welcome back to the newsroom, and today I have a breaking news story. This one comes courtesy of the Washington Times, and it says, SCOTUS will have no choice but to take on big tech over the First Amendment, according to Justice Thomas. You heard it right, folks. Thanks so much for joining us here at Golden State Times. Let's begin. And it says, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas warned Monday that the day of reckoning looms for social media companies. It goes on to say that the conservative associate lamented social media companies' regulation of free speech, quote, at any time, for any or no reason. In a dissenting opinion of a Supreme Court dismissal of a case over former President Donald Trump's ability to block people on Twitter, the justice wrote, quote, as Twitter made clear, the right to cut off speech lies most powerfully in the hands of private digital platforms. The justice went on to say, quote, the extent to which that power matters for purposes of the First Amendment and the extent to which the power could lawfully be modified raise interesting and important questions. You heard it right, folks. It says, the George H.W. Bush appointee said digital platforms provide for unprecedented amounts of speech, but the control over that speech is concentrated in the hands of private companies. Justice Thomas wrote, quote, we will soon have no choice but to address how our legal doctrines apply to highly concentrated, privately owned information infrastructure such as digital platforms. So it goes on to say that the High Court vacated a ruling on the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals that sided with the people who sued Mr. Trump when he was president, alleging a First Amendment violation happened when he blocked them from interacting with his account on Twitter. So I don't know if you guys remember this lawsuit that happened. Trump was blocking people that were just there to troll him or to talk bad or be disrespectful, say bad words, all that stuff. So what he would do is instead of interacting with them, he would just block them. So they started suing him. And now this lawsuit has reached all the way up to the Supreme Court, which now the Supreme Court is pushing it back down to the lower courts. But as Justice Thomas said, eventually we can't just keep putting band-aids on this or sweeping it under the rug or whatever metaphor you want to use for this. We're going to have to look at this at some point. And social media is going to have a day of reckoning. It has to happen. Whether it's going to happen now or it's going to happen 5 years from now or 10 years from now, this issue has to be remedied because we're talking about the First Amendment. It says the appeals court reasoned that Mr. Trump was a government official and his account was a public forum, not his private control, not under his private control. So critics should be able to view and interact with his account. Now, if you go to the Biden account, Kamala Harris account, or anything like that, and you say something that they believe, not only does Twitter, but also the people that are running those accounts for Biden and for Kamala, they'll block you. They'll send a petition to ban you. You say something about Kamala Harris, they'll ban you. You say something critical about Biden, they'll ban you. And this is the problem. That these businesses, these social media companies have buddies. And if you say something bad about their buddies, they'll ban you. But if you say something about the people that they themselves, these social media companies are critical of, like Trump, or like Marjorie Taylor Greene, or Matt Gaetz, or any of these people that they don't like, if you are that person and you're running that account yourself, you cannot ban anybody. You have to allow them give you threats and call you names and be disrespectful and put up memes. You can do whatever you want. It says the appeals court, like I said, reasoned that Mr. Trump was a government official and that his account was public forum, according to them. The High Court ultimately dismissed the challenge because Mr. Trump left office on January the 20th. So they dismissed it because of that, but in reality, they just pushed it down to the lower courts. That's how it was dismissed. But Justice Thomas said that the Second Circuit ruling was at odds with Twitter's total control over discourse, even barring Mr. Trump from the platform altogether. Justice Thomas wrote, quote, "It seems rather odd to say that something is a government forum when a private company has unrestricted authority to do away with it. The disparity between Twitter's control and Mr. Trump's control is stark, to say the least." It says Mr. Trump blocked several people from interacting with his messages. Twitter barred Mr. Trump not only from interacting with a few users, but removed him from the entire platform. He went on to say, "Today's digital platforms provide avenues for historically unprecedented amount of speech, including speech by government actors." So, once again, the day of reckoning for these companies is going to happen. Whether it happens now, 5 or 10 years down the road, but it has to happen. These companies cannot get away with not only suppressing speech, banning people for no reason, but also meddling in elections. Foreign actors already meddle in our elections, whether people believe it or don't believe it. We have China, we have Iran, we have North Korea, we have Russia, we have a whole bunch of other countries trying to sway the election whichever way that they see will benefit them, not us, them. That's the whole point of meddling in our elections. The biggest actors of doing this is well known and documented: China and Russia. But the ones that nobody is talking about is Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Reddit. All of those are also meddling in the election. And they do different names and different titles for different things. If someone comes out, let's say like us here at Golden State Times, come out with a report that is based in fact and have factual evidence to back it, and YouTube or Twitter or Facebook or whoever doesn't approve of it because it's talking about or exposing something regarding, let's say, Biden or Kamala or whatever, they'll just put it as spam, disinformation, say that it violates their terms of service or their community guidelines. Just recently, the Lara Trump interview with Trump got banned from Facebook, not because of what was said, not because of Trump talking about the 2020 election. You just continues talking about it. It wasn't banned because of any of those things. It was banned because his voice, just the sound of his voice. So it would have gotten banned whether it would have been just a podcast, a voice podcast, or if it would have been on video. It did not matter to Facebook. They just said, we're going to ban it because Trump has been banned from Facebook and he can no longer be on it in any way. Now, YouTube does have a similar rule, that if you had a YouTube channel and it got terminated in any way, shape, or form, you cannot open another account and continue. That is against the rules. But for you not to be able to come up on anybody else's account as a guest, that is crazy. That is completely and utterly insane, because that what it means is that you're blacklisting somebody. So you're not only censoring them, now you're also putting people on blacklists. And I think that is exactly what Justice Thomas is talking about, without using that word. He's being very careful in using the word blacklist. But that's exactly what's going on, especially what happened with the Laura Trump interview on Facebook. But let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. When is the Supreme Court, when are the Republicans in Congress going to do something about social media companies having way too much power for their own good? Being able to manipulate elections, being able to meddle in elections, being able to suppress speech in every way that they do not agree with. Being able to ban someone and then blacklist them and ban them or forbid them from coming up on anybody else's accounts. Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us here at Golden State Times. If you're new to the channel, we hope that you guys subscribe and you click that bell. Also, make sure you follow us on Twitter and you like us on Facebook, Golden State Times on Facebook. If you have Parler or if you have Gab, make sure you follow us at Golden State Times. Make sure you bookmark our website, goldenstatetimes.com, and you let us know what you guys think about what Justice Thomas said. Sound off in the comments. Make sure you give us your thoughts, your comments, your opinions, suggestions, everything in the comment section below. Sound off on there. Also, if you're watching this for the very first time and you didn't subscribe, let us know why. What is it that made you guys not want to subscribe to this channel? We want to know. We want to become better. Is it me? Is it my voice? The way I look? Is it the graphics? Is it the report? Let me know in the comment section below. I have thick skin. Be as honest and as truthful as you possibly can. And we'll see you guys on the next one, hopefully. But if you do want to subscribe, click that bell also. That way you get notified when we upload. Thanks so much for joining us here at the newsroom. And make sure you check out our previous video. It should be coming up right next to Justice Thomas here. And we'll see you soon. Peace.